Thank you all for coming. 37 years ago, at this very moment, I was at the center of Tiananmen Square, at the monument of People's Hero. I heard gunshots from all directions of Beijing. A peaceful Beijing that was so dear to millions was under siege by many, many troops. I saw tanks rushing in. I was the last to leave Tiananmen Square. Then I saw dozens of bodies in a hospital, outside of the hospital, because the hospital, 复兴医院, which was on Chang'an Boulevard, next to 木樨地, was overwhelmed with these people who died, injured. They had to be laid outside in a bicycle shed. For me, this was the beginning. I will never forget. To those who died, to the Tiananmen mothers, I owe a lifelong duty. We gather today because those who sacrificed their life are still denied justice. We gathered because people continue to hold firm in China and around the world. Today, I'm receiving many messages from people inside China sharing with me how they are commemorating at this moment. Just now, for example, KFC's Crazy Thursday became censored because young people are using this opportunity to commemorate Tiananmen. Yin Xuan, a political prisoner, he was sentenced to 4 years in prison simply for commemorating Tiananmen massacre. He was tortured in prison. When he was released, he was terminally ill. But still, because he refused to be silenced, he was disappeared again, and we haven't seen him since. Xu Guang from Hangzhou, he was a student protester in 1989. He was also sentenced to 4 years in prison. When he was released recently, he was tortured so weak that he couldn't even stand on himself. But we heard from him, for democracy and freedom, our generation, we have to fight on, and there's no regrets. This is what the commemoration means to us. For the Tiananmen generation, our lifelong mission is democratization of China. Dong Guangping was a policeman from a well-connected family in China. Yet, when he is faced with the choice of justice and evil, he chose justice. Again and again, he spoke for these people who died in 1989 and for the truth of June 4 Tiananmen massacre. For that, he was sentenced to prison 4 times. Yet, he refused to surrender. He sought freedom abroad. Oh, sorry. Okay. That's Dong Guangping. Just recently, he made a boat himself and spent 30 hours on the open ocean. He finally was able to reach South Korea. We hope the international community can help him to reunite with his family in Canada. He embodies the spirit of the Tiananmen generation. We commemorate because CCP wants us to forget, and they use every tool possible to control people, to tell lies, to bury the truth. Yet, despite all this effort, new evidence emerge every year. I receive new photos, new documents, I met new witnesses every year. Last year, the most important new evidence is about this general Xu Qinxian. He was known for refusing to carry out Deng Xiaoping's order. He was the commander of the most elite troops of PLA at that time, 38 军. Yet, when he was told that he would bring tanks, fully armed troops to the center of Beijing, he refused. He said, I wouldn't want to be guilty in the court of history. Today, China, under dictatorship, is a threat to the world. Most importantly, it's a threat to Taiwan. We call on people, these PLA personnel, we call on these people to act to their conscience like General Xu Qinxian, refuse to carry out the order of the tyranny. In commemorating Tiananmen, we owe our greatest respect to the people of Hong Kong. For decades, mainly because of the commemoration, the candlelight vigil, in Victoria Park, that the memory of Tiananmen still lives. We especially thank Zhou Xingtong. She was only a child in 1989. Yet today, she is the best example of the spirit of Tiananmen. She continued to speak out, no matter what. Even though she is facing lifelong in prison, she speaks out for the Tiananmen mothers. She turns the court of Hong Kong into a Victoria Park. We, Tiananmen generation, salute Zhou Xingtong. She is our hero. The struggle of 1989 never ended. It inspires generation of human rights defenders, lawyers, pastors, labor activists, and journalists, democracy advocates, and the young people of the white paper generation. Today, in dozens of cities around the world, people continue to gather through vigils, rallies. There are about 40 different commemorations this year. and it's especially active online, particularly through influencers like Teacher Lee, the voice of the white paper movement. In 1989, we are all inspired when millions of people demonstrated their demand for freedom and democracy. They showed the world something very profound. Even under democracy, under dictatorship, people believe in democracy and find the courage to fight and to sacrifice for it. The image of tankmen and the goddess of democracy became universal symbols of freedom. They inspired the people who pushed down the Berlin Wall. They inspired the Iranian students when they protested in 1999, and continued to inspire people to resist tyranny around the world. In 1989, I was the first to arrive on Tiananmen Square to commemorate Hu Yaobang. I would never imagine millions of people would come out. Later, my first speech on Tiananmen Square was inspired by Declaration of Independence. This year, as United States celebrates its 250th anniversary of founding of this country, it is heartbreaking to see so many people in this country doubt the value of democracy. Yet the lesson of 1989, Tiananmen, remains clear. Chinese students and citizens risk everything, not for authoritarianism, not for strongmen, but for democracy, freedom, and human dignity. They understood something that remains true today. Democracy is worth defending. Democracy is not just a political system. It's belief in human dignity, truth, accountability, and the right of every person to live free from fear of the government. The Tiananmen spirit belongs not only to the past, it belongs to every political prisoner, every journalist, every citizen who refuses to be silenced, who speaks the truth, and to everyone who continue to believe in freedom and democracy. One day, China will be free. One day, China will be democratic. And a free and a democratic China will not only be a blessing for Chinese people, it will be a blessing to the world. Thank you.